So it might take a minute for you to boot up Future Cloud because it's a pretty massive program. And to make it run even smoother and more efficiently, I highly recommend that you have all other applications closed, except for DingTalk, of course. If you're teaching, you'll have to have that open as well. But it's just going to ensure that your application opens smoothly and runs smoothly on the student side as well. So once it finally launches, you're going to see that you come to this homepage. And what you're going to have to do is put in a username and a password. So it's just your first and last name put together with no space. And then your password is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just going to log in and show you guys the landing page of Future Cloud. And there you have it. All right, so let's just jump back into the PowerPoint presentation and we can take a look at the Future Cloud overview. So the following section is going to be an introduction to Future Cloud. And over here, I just want you to take note of the basic navigation techniques that we use here, just to ensure that you can fully participate in the interactive activities that are going to happen on day 1 of live training. Don't worry if you weren't able to install Future Cloud. If you're a Mac user and the firewall couldn't be disabled, or you're a PC user and something else happened, then you can just let us know on day 1 of live training whether or not you are able to install it, and we can help you during a troubleshooting session that will follow our live training. The following section, you can still take note of all the information and you can still use it to your advantage. So at least in theory, you're able to know what's going on, even if you're not able to practice it yet yourself. So taking a look at our Future Cloud homepage, we're going to just take a look at what all the buttons are and how to navigate it a little bit easier. So over here at the top, you're going to see that you're automatically brought to your home page. And here is where you're going to be able to view your daily classes, the class details. If you put on filters, you can see all the classes for a given time frame. You can also submit feedback through the home page and view all of your completed classes. So if you go over to the next one, which is My Students, this is where you're going to view all your student details and information. So it has a little bit more about the class's history, and it will also be a place where you can see the students' feedback that they give to you, should they have submitted any. Now to the right, you're going to see your temporary classroom. So this is where you can enter Future Cloud if you don't have a registered class. It's very useful if you want to go in and upload materials in advance, or practice using certain features that you're very comfortable when you actually have a class, or for day 3 where you're going to be doing your final demo. So I'm going to show you how to log into that in a few slides from now, but for now let's just take a look at the button to the right again. So here is the refresh button. So this is very useful when you want to see if any of your class details have changed. Let's say a student has canceled last minute. Let's say a student has signed up with you last minute. Here is where you're going to be able to refresh and see all of those changes. Now, I recommend that you refresh your homepage every 40 minutes. 40 minutes is how long a class is, and therefore it's the sort of time frame that you have to see if a student has signed up for the next period. And it just makes sure that if you have that done regularly, that you are fully aware and prepared for the classes in as much advanced time as is possible. So after that, we're going to look at your profile, which is right over there, and it's where you can view and edit your profile and also change the password if you want, but we do recommend that you don't change it because it's very easy for us then to help you if we know what your password is and to let you know what your password is if you've forgotten it. So please don't change your password. All right, next up, let's take a look at the student details. So here is a close-up of what they'll look like from your homepage. So the class times are always going to be 40 minutes long, and you'll see the time slots listed first on the top left corner of every class that you have scheduled. And you'll see that also it's a 10-minute difference between class times. So this one ended at 1750 and this one starts at 1800. So you have 10 minutes between classes to sort of collect yourself and prepare for the next period. After that, you're going to see the student name right over here. So this student happens to be Lol, which is funny in its own way. Oftentimes you'll see that they do have very creative names, but sometimes it's just normal names like us as well. So whatever their name is there, that's usually what they want to be called in class. After that, you're going to see the lesson number. So as you might see here, it's listed as 3 out of 8 on 1, and then the one right below is listed as 1 out of 1. So that just means that this one here is actually an EC class, or an experiencing class. And it's a one-off trial lesson period that we offer our students and parents to see if they like our product and our service, and especially you as their teacher. And it's a great way to get students to sign up with you and start building your student body, which is what it's all about in the beginning. And then this one over here, 3 out of 8, is indicating how long our session is. So if this is the summer semester, there are 8 classes, and you're on the 3rd lesson out of that 8. After that, you'll see the grade level that the student is in. So they're a G3 level, so a grade 3, and their experience is E, which is semi-advanced. So they're relatively high level for a grade 3 student. All right, then let's take a look at what these letters mean right beside. So R is going to be for a regular class, and that is for a student who signs up with you regularly for an entire semester. So you should be anticipating you'll have them every week. E is for an experiencing class, which I just explained as the one-off lesson. And then at the bottom right, I had a little asterisk, and it says A for adjusted class. And what that means is if it's a student who registered with you maybe as a substitute teacher, or maybe a student that you have regularly, but who couldn't make a regular class time, and they're at an irregular time in your schedule. So that just indicates that it's not normal as per your class times. Then at the bottom, we have this Preview Class Materials button. This is an awesome feature because if you click this before your class begins, it will bring up the PPT that you'll be teaching for that class, and you'll be able to scan through it to see if you remember the materials well, and it just gives a little bit of a prompting as to what to expect in that class. You should have also reviewed it beforehand and viewed the lesson plan for it so that you can see tips on how to present the lesson, ideas for extension questions, some suggested props that you could bring or make in the classroom to make it more exciting. But here is an awesome way, especially if it's an adjusted class that has shown up last minute and you don't have enough time to prepare, download, and view lesson plans in advance. So you can click that and again, just scroll through really quickly to see the PowerPoint materials. Then to the far right, you're going to see Enter Classroom. And this button is only going to be active for the 5 minutes directly before that class. So I recommend that you enter that 5 minutes before, and this just allows you to give enough time to do your device check once you enter the classroom, which will be explained shortly, as well as preparing yourself and the admin for your presence in the classroom. So if you go in a bit later or right on the nose before, you're going to show up as a bit late because it does take time for you to log in, and the admins will already start looking for another sub because they won't think that you're ready for class and they want to fix this as soon as possible. It's very important for us to be reliable. So just make sure you click that Enter the Classroom button when it becomes available, the 5 minutes before. All right, then up here, you're going to see this feedback button. So this button is going to be available after you've completed a class. You will have to submit feedback within 24 hours of every class with a student, and it will be mandatory for you to have completed a lesson. So even if you deliver a live session, it's going to be counted as a non-teaching hour if you don't complete your feedback in the given time frame. Because remember, that's part of our client guarantee, is the individualized feedback within 24 hours. All right, and finally, we're going to take a look at that playback button. So this playback button will allow you to view your class recording. All of our classes are recorded so that the student can keep practicing after they've completed it, the parents can check their progress, and also for us, this is an amazing professional development tool. So you can review how you did in that lesson and be like, all right, how did I stimulate critical thinking there? Can I continue doing that there? How did this go? And look at it from more of a third-person point of view to see how you might have done. So it's great for your own self-evaluation. Let's take a look now at your students page. So when you click on the My Students tab, you're going to see all of your students come up. If I wanted to filter through, because I have so many and I can't find the one I'm looking for, I can use these filters at the top. And these are going to help me find students from specific semesters or from a given year if you've been with us for a while. And then if you want to select a student, you found the one you're talking about, you can just do view classes information and it will give you more details about that student. So once you go into that area, you're going to see that you again can filter the student's information. And then otherwise you can see the class, time, date, number for all of your lessons that you've had with them. You can see if the student previewed the materials before class, so that indicates how prepared they are for the lesson and how well you should either compensate or challenge them to perform in the classroom based on their experience with the information. Then the student assignment, it'll indicate if the student has done the homework after the lesson. So again, how well they're really engaging with that material and how well you should adapt your lessons to their level and ability. And then next up will be the feedback. So if you have submitted feedback for this selected class, and then finally if the student has submitted feedback for you. And if the student has submitted feedback for you, you can click that little magnifying glass. You'll see that it will be in black instead of faded out gray, and it'll come up as something similar to this. So then we're going to take a look at my profile. So when you click on this button at the top right of your Future Cloud screen, you're going to be able to access your profile. And then over here on the left, you're going to see where it says change password. So again, just to reiterate, please don't change your password. It just makes it easier for us to help you later on because we'll be able to access your account or remind you what your password is. And then we can start taking a look at the different areas. There are 3 major tabs, and the first one being your working schedule. So here you can review your availabilities that you've signed up for. So in this case, this teacher is working mostly Wednesday, Saturday, but has 2 additional shifts on Tuesday and Friday. So here will be your personal information, and you can put in some details about yourself and your teaching style and some contact information. And finally, you're going to see your teacher's information. And this essentially is more for the admin to fill out, and it just clarifies which grades you teach so that parents are able to sign up with you if you're more appropriate for their students' level and ability. So that's that, very simple. You don't have to do much in this section. All right, so in that case, now that we have the basics about understanding the external features of Future Cloud, let's explore Future Cloud by entering the classroom and understanding certain features. So here I'm going to do a walkthrough with you so that you understand how to use a temporary classroom code, how to do an equipment check, pressing start, end, and exit because it is important to note the difference between them, navigating the toolbar, requesting help in the classroom, and how to upload and open files. So we're gonna zoom right on over.